Hey, this is Les Paul Klein virtually and Sandra Johnston virtually. Hey, Sandra.
Hey Les, how you doing?
I'm good. It looks like we're in the living room or up in the
I,
studio.
we're up in our studio.
I love this.
Love getting to visit our studio virtually.
That's right. Right. So welcome. We're glad you stopped in. So what we want to talk about today is a bonus feature for you coming to visit our website is 5 tips on how to be the best dressed. 5 things, and we're not going to expand those. We'll do some individual videos later on, but let's jump in with the first one. And the first one is, and I love this one, I love the way Sandra framed this, have confidence. So Sandra, tell us about that.
Well, again, we don't want to dive in too deeply, but basically, confidence and dressing well is going to be sort of two-sided coin. So you really feel more confident when you dress well, but you also need to bring some confidence to the table in order to step into that that goal to dress well. You've got to be confident enough to know that you need to look good and that you will look good. So I believe confidence is a lot, and we're going to talk about kind of what are some definitions of confidence.
So have you ever noticed when somebody comes in the room and all eyes do this? You ever notice that?
Either for good or for bad, right?
Exactly right.
Good or for bad.
So have you ever noticed that the guy or the gal that's really confident, their head's up, their smile's on,
shoulders back,
looking good, shoulders are back, they got confidence. But the person that doesn't, you remember what they look like? Their head's down.
They're kind of hunched over.
They're kind of hunched over. Yeah, they're kind of looking down. They're looking at themselves. They're looking at other people going, not sure I really do fit in here. So what would you say gives a person confidence?
There are so many things.
Pick out your top 2.
Top 2, feeling good about yourself in general.
Okay.
Feeling good about yourself. And again, that is in the world we live in, it's very image driven.
It is.
Image driven.
Absolutely.
So, you feel like you look good, feel good. That's where that confidence, shoulders back, a lot of that comes from.
And the one thing that we solve, the biggest problem we run into every day is fit. People aren't fit well in their clothes. They're not comfortable in their clothes. How can you be comfortable if your clothes don't fit? And if you're not comfortable, guess what? You don't have any confidence. And we see it often out in the public. Okay, well, I got to move on to number 2 because the clock is ticking. Can you believe this takes so much time? So number 2, do you remember what number 2 is?
Develop your own personal style.
I love that, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, so what does that look like? What's a personal style?
Something that speaks to who you are, I think. It tells a little bit of a story about you, just about the way that you put yourself together, but there's a style about your clothing and about your hair and about your overall look. You have a style.
And that goes back to confidence.
Yes.
You have a style because you have confidence. Wouldn't you
Yes.
say those 2 things tie together?
Definitely.
Okay. And you can't have a style and you can't have confidence without number 3. And number 3 and number 2 really kind of tie in together. They really, really do. And we may only have 4 tips, but if you're going to have confidence and you're going to have style, there probably needs to be some work done if those things don't exist in your closet. So we talk about retooling a person's wardrobe. Clothes that fit, clothes you like, clothes you look good in, and we try to make it simple and easy. But when you look at that overall picture, if you don't have confidence and you don't have style, really, this is kind of where you need to start to become the best dressed. Is if those first two things don't exist, number 3 probably needs to be pushed to number 1.
Pushed to number 1. That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah, we push it back to number 1 because your closet needs to be retooled. So how many closets have you been in that are really a fit and look and style disaster?
Oh, yes. Almost every one I've ever been in. Most people, I would say most people. And we're going to give you some tips on how to pull that together, how to fix that disaster.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. It happens. We see it really often. And so one of those things that I would say is crucial. Get your closet retooled. Here's an exercise, and I'll give you just the short version. Go in and look at everything in your closet. And if you haven't worn it in the last 6 months, out it goes. Out it goes.
Disappearing. There it goes.
Where'd you go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just one little tip, just one little thing that could help you. All right, Sandra, let's move on to number 4 because our time's ticking fast. What is the 4th tip to be a best dressed person?
So there's something that is called a style pyramid. And those three points on the pyramid are really important to what your wardrobe and your style has to offer.
They are.
And they are fit, function, and fabric.
Yep.
And guess what? As your tailors, we can help you with all of those things.
Absolutely. Starts with fit.
Yes.
Starts with fit. And again, it goes back to if you don't have the right fit, then it's going to be hard to be confident, and it's going to be hard to have your own personal style. So it starts with a fit. And we debated when we were talking about this webinar whether or not fabric was more important than fit, function, and fabric. Our function was more important than fabric, but they kind of go hand in hand, wouldn't you say?
They have to work together. Yes. Because your fabric has to fit in with what it is that the function is, what it is that you're doing.
Absolutely.
Talk in great detail about how to make those decisions based on the situation that you're in.
That's right. You know, you don't wear cotton to a wedding in a general rule unless the function's on the beach. Okay.
Yeah.
This morning, somebody asked me, so we're having a formal wedding and how should we dress? And so I had to ask some qualifying questions, but fit, fabric, and function. Obviously, if they're going to have a formal wedding, fit is huge. And at weddings, you know what? Women get really fit well, and men always look like a disaster. It's so disheartening because
it's almost an afterthought.
Yeah, it is. It is really, and I see more and more people moving forward. But fit, function, and fabric. That function determines the fabric.
There you go.
On what you're going to do. So those are our tips. You can call it 4 or 5, but the 5th thing, we'll use this as number 5. Number 5 is take action.
Yes.
Take some action. So you found us at lesklein.com, and you've got this free webinar that we put together, and we'll expand this in future videos that we'll send out to you, as long as you don't unsubscribe. But we would really encourage you to take some action. Execute.
Yes.
On our website, there's a place for you to schedule a call. You could schedule a call to Sandra and I. Hit the link and choose who you want to talk to. It's the way it works. If you're ready to set an appointment, there's a place to also schedule an appointment, and that's throughout that page. So here's what I would say. Take action, execute a plan, implement a plan so you can be one of the best dressed people. What do you think, Sandra? Did we cover it?
I think so. I think it's just the only missing piece is you.
That's right. The missing piece is you. We look forward to hearing from you. Have a really, really blessed day. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.